So welcome to session 5 on reproducibility and reuse. And thank you for NIH and the Office of the Data Science Strategy hosting this. In the past day and this morning, certainly we heard a lot about FAIR. And so this session is sort of building off of what you've heard before. And really the question that we wanted to pose in this last session here is, given that we now have FAIR data repositories and we're sort of building up a lot of infrastructure around things being findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable, the question sort of was posed then, what happens to the ensuing data artifacts? So once we have this data, we're now building these algorithms and these models and all these different tools using the data. What happens to all of those? And so what I wanted to really sort of pose to the speakers today was this question of replication versus reproducibility. And there was a somewhat controversial statement made in an EI conference several years ago, where someone was basically saying that replication does not equal reproducibility. And they were saying that even if we make our code and our data available, that does not mean we have scientific reproducibility. And that's really been sort of an ongoing issue, particularly as we move now in sort of the biomedical space to increased usage of things like machine learning and other AI-based techniques. So the point that they were trying to make was that scientific reproducibility really entails a deeper understanding of a described approach upon which another individual can then build upon and improve. And certainly FAIR and making the data and all those repositories and everything else, the metadata, is a critical first step. But what we're hoping to look at today through some of the talks that you'll hear is what happens after you have that access. How do we make everything else downstream also FAIR in its own way? So we've got several different speakers lined up today. The first one is Dr. Nigam Shah, who's a professor of medicine at Stanford University. His talk is entitled "A Framework for Making Predictive Models Useful in Medicine." We might be missing a speaker, but the second speaker that we're supposed to have is Dr. Bin Yu from UC Berkeley, my alma mater. She'll be talking about veridical data science for precision medicine, subgroup discovery through StatDisk. And then the third speaker we have is Dr. Anders Garlid. He'll be talking about Premier, a community-driven platform for reproducibility and reuse in biomedical predictive modeling. And then last but not least, we have Henning Herman Jacob from EMBL EBI, who will be talking about reproducibility in systems biology sometimes. And I have to love that last phrase there. Okay, so since a lot of these talks are sort of going to hit on different things, I'm going to give most of the time to them, and we'll take the questions at the end. So Nigam,